World News Sunday.
Jim Slade didn't want to be an astronaut when he was growing up. He wanted to be a railroad engineer. So it's natural that he discovered a new state park in West Virginia, where romantics of like-mindedness can pursue their first love.
Welcome to Cass, West Virginia, Mecca of the Pharaoh equinologist, lover of the iron horse. The faithful come here to watch a special kind of steam locomotive operate in its natural setting, knowing that it's something that nearly got away. Cass started in the lumber business in 1900, a mountain isolated company town built to operate a huge sawmill.
This was a boom town. This was a rollicking place.
Yes, it was. At one time, there was over 2,000 people lived here. The mill was actually the largest double bandsaw mill in operation east of the Mississippi River when it was operational.
Woodhicks, or lumberjacks, lived and worked along the 50-mile spine of Cheat Mountain, harvesting the timber that made it go. They were a special breed themselves, living a hard life few of us could endure today. Local historian Stella Blackhurst says they'd stay up there as long as 6 months at a time, or until they'd cut a notch a day around the brim of their hat. Then they'd hop a log train to town, draw their pay, and cross the river from Cass to have a time.
They said that across the river over there, they called that Hell's Acre. They said that most towns had a Hell's half acre, but it took a whole acre for Cass.
And she says when they were done or too drunk to care, somebody would dump them on the train and send them back to camp to work some more. They depended on that train in more ways than one. For nearly 60 years, the trains battled the impossible grades, carrying supplies and people up in the morning and hauling down 13 cars full of logs in the afternoon. Getting up there was backbreaking. A good fireman could put a ton or two in the firebox one way. But eventually, the timber ran out. And on July 1st, 1960, Cass was just shut down and left to die. Racing a company hired to scrap the railroad, interested rail fans and businessmen appealed to a skeptical West Virginia legislature. It took months, but they won, and the state bought Cass to make the world's first 11-mile-long, 15-foot-wide state park. The stars of the show are the Shays, engines built with vertical pistons connected to drive shafts powering all 12 sprung wheels to let them run on steep, uneven track. This one, number 5, has been running on the Cass line ever since 1905. Its engineer, Artie Barkley, has been absorbed by the engines since he was a boy at Cass.
You really like the job, don't you?
Yeah, I like steam. Yep. If it was a diesel, I wouldn't care a thing about it. But you get steam in your blood, she's there.
The engineers are cult heroes who treat the rare old engines like children to keep them running. Thousands of tourists come every year to watch the trains and their people work, to ride up the mountain, and to thrill again to steam's distinctive sound.
They call the locomotive cab the catbird seat. Anybody who sits here has the kind of job little kids dream about. Eventually, some of us grow up and get the job. The rest of us just come here to Cass and keep on dreaming. Jim Slade, ABC News, Cass, West Virginia.
That's our report for tonight. I'm Sam Donaldson. For all of us here at ABC News, good night.